Behind the formidable name of ThyssenKrupp lies a narrative woven with threads of steel, engineering prowess, and a dash of controversy. This German industrial giant had a significant impact on the global stage, from the forging of war machines to the intricate production of car parts. But what are the origins that set the foundation for this industrial giant? Did it start in the noisy workshops of the Industrial Revolution, or did it have its roots in wartime strategies? Without delay, let's embark on a journey to unravel the origins of ThyssenKrupp. Now, ThyssenKrupp's a result of two companies coming together, so let's take a moment to understand each of them individually before delving into the details of their merger. Thyssen's roots go back to a steel plant in Bruckhausen near Hamborn on the Rhine, commencing operations in December 1891 and forming the core of the Thyssen Empire. August Thyssen, a 50-year-old entrepreneur, laid the foundation for this company. Starting with a steel and engineering business named Thyssen & Co., he expanded from his father's banking business in Eschweiler. August established his business in Mulheim with 35,000 tailors. Facing expansion limitations, August built a new steel plant in Bruckhausen in 1889, utilizing modern technologies and establishing control over crude steel supplies. August's companies expanded rapidly before World War I, securing coal and iron ore supplies for self-sufficiency. He invested in raw materials suppliers across France, North Africa, and Russia. By 1904, annual rolled steel production reached 700,000 tons, surpassing other German producers. World War I demands benefited Thyssen, but Germany's defeat led to economic turmoil. Foreign assets were seized, Ruhr Valley plants were temporarily under French control, and hyperinflation battered earnings. However, facing hardships, August revived the business in late 1924, focusing on cost-cutting mechanization. However, this was short-lived, as nature was against him, and he died in 1926. After his death, Thyssen joined Vereinigten Stahlwerk AG, VST, forming a cartel with other steel enterprises. Fritz Thyssen, August's older son, is known more for his link to Adolf Hitler than his business prowess. Frustrated with his father's lengthy leadership, Fritz shifted his focus to right-wing politics, aiming to challenge the Weimar Republic. In 1939, Fritz fled Germany, got captured in Vichy, France, and spent time in a mental asylum from 1941 to November 1943, followed by concentration camps until the war's end. Post-World War II, Fritz's denazification was accepted. He faced a 15% fine on his German properties, and so he moved to Latin America in late 1948. After the war, Allied restrictions hit hard. Limited repairs at ATH's factories allowed temporary operation in October 1945. In April 1946, reconstruction halted as the Allies decided the fate of German industry, blaming it for Hitler's armament. Factories were detonated or stripped. However, destruction ceased in November 1949 with the Petersburg Treaty. The VST group split into 16 companies, and steel and mining firms were separated. Now, Thyssen came up with a new strategy. He canceled plans for expanding steel production and pulling out of sectors where competitors offered lower prices. Instead, Thyssen focused on making production more efficient. However, Thyssen faced challenges due to the steel industry's decline. Losses at Bud and Thyssen Stahl resulted in a 2-year dividend suspension from 1982. However, despite financial setbacks, Thyssen delved into high-tech projects, leading a Transrapid train consortium in the 1980s. Thyssen cautiously avoided investing in East Germany's struggling steel industry, focusing on 27 smaller ventures in engineering and services with investments of around 500 million German marks. It also formed 40 cooperation deals with state-owned firms in the former communist country. In the early 1990s, Thyssen diversified into telecommunications, partnering with U.S. firm BellSouth to tap into the deregulating German market. Another significant move was teaming up with Fried. In 1995, Thyssen and Krupp combined their stainless steel operations, forming Krupp Thyssen Narosta, with 60% owned by Krupp and 40% owned by Thyssen. But before delving into this merger, let's explore the beginnings of Krupp. The company, eventually becoming Fried Krupp GmbH and later Fried. Krupp AG Hosch Krupp originated on November 20, 1811, founded by Friedrich Krupp and partners Georg Karl Gottfried von Ketchel and Wilhelm Georg Ludwig von Ketchel. They established a factory for English cast steel due to the demand created by Napoleon's continental blockade. Friedrich Krupp managed the commercial side, but after unsuccessful steelmaking experiments by partners, he ran the factory alone from 1816, developing a process for high-quality cast steel. Despite initial struggles and Friedrich Krupp's death in 1826, Therese Krupp and her son Alfred kept the business afloat. Alfred, starting finished product manufacturing, ensured quality, although output remained modest. Expansion truly kicked in after 1834. The German customs union's removal of trade barriers in 1834 fueled sales. Alfred Krupp focused on perfecting high-precision rolls, supplying them for rolling machines and mills. In the early 1840s, he, along with his brothers, developed a mill for stamping, rolling, and embossing spoons and forks simultaneously. Although market limitations and indestructible rolls posed challenges, Krupp succeeded in establishing cutlery factories in Austria. However, economic downturns in 1846–47 hit hard. But in April 1848, Alfred Krupp, now the sole owner, saved the business by selling personal assets and securing a major order from Russia for cutlery machinery. In the years leading up to 1873, the company saw robust expansion. However, the economic downturn in 1874 nearly led to financial collapse, as Krupp had taken substantial bank loans without proper security. Afterward, the company entered a phase of consistent development. Expansions were made in divisions producing machinery components, shipbuilding materials, and railway equipment. However, amongst this consistency, Alfred Krupps passed away in 1887, leaving a workforce of 20,200 and sales of 47.5 million. Friedrich Alfred Krupp, Alfred Krupp's son, expanded the family business, acquiring the Gruson Works for armor plate production and taking over the Germania shipyard in Kiel to support the German Navy. The Fleet Acts and Admiral Tirpitz's initiatives led to the production of warships with Krupp armor. When Friedrich Alfred Krupp passed away suddenly at 48 in 1902, his elder daughter Bertha inherited the company. As per the owner's will, the company transformed into Fried and then Krupp AG in 1903. Amidst the post-transformation landscape, the outbreak of World War I brought seismic changes to Krupp's trajectory. World War I led to a surge in armaments production and company expansion. To meet government contracts, munitions output skyrocketed, reaching over 5 times its pre-1914 level by 1918. Massive new factories were built, and the workforce substantially increased, totaling 168,000 employees. Notable products included the 16.5-inch Big Bertha gun, merchant submarines Deutschland and Bremen, and the long-barreled Paris gun. Despite accusations of benefiting disproportionately from the war, recent research reveals that Krupp's profits were modestly distributed. Post-war, under the Treaty of Versailles, ammunition production was banned, pushing Krupp to shift to locomotives, trucks, and machinery. The company faced a critical situation with Allied divestment orders, forcing Krupp to sell its mining and steelmaking operations, risking the loss of vital steel interests. In 1951, Alfred Krupp von Bohlen und Halbach vowed to cease weapon production. The goal was to reshape the concern, focusing on remaining manufacturing and engineering activities, locomotive and motor truck works, Whittier hard metal plant, forging and foundry shops, and structural engineering in Rheinhausen. This restructuring, led by Krupp and CEO Berthold Beitz, expanded into developing countries for industrial plant construction. By 1958, sales reached 3.3 billion German marks, with 105,200 employees, making Krupp Germany's highest revenue company. The Allied divestment order's compliance was limited, leading to the consolidation of remaining coal and steel operations. In the 1960s, Krupp navigated the economic landscape positively, aside from a brief setback in 1962–63. Hindered by the divestment order until 1968, the company faced a financial crisis in 1967 due to high supplier credits in the expanding export business. To secure banks, the government offered guarantees, contingent on Krupp becoming a stock corporation. Owner Alfred Krupp von Bohlen und Halbach's will outlined a non-profit foundation, continuing the legacy of social responsibility. Post Alfred's death in 1967, the firm became Fried Krupp GmbH in 1968, owned by the foundation. In the 1980s, Krupp restructured by selling off loss-making shipbuilding interests and cutting steel output. However, workforce protests in 1987–88 prevented the closure of Rheinhausen Works. The the turbulence of internal protests, the shifting industrial landscape, and Krupp's subsequent endeavors set the stage for a new chapter in its evolution. After Krupp acquired Axial Speciale Terna in 1994, it merged its stainless steel operations with Thyssen in the Krupp-Thyssen Narosta joint venture, with 60% ownership by Krupp. In 1997, Krupp attempted a hostile takeover of Thyssen with a 13.6 billion German mark bid, causing worker protests due to fears of layoffs. The move, led by Gerhard Krumm, faced strong opposition. Failing to acquire Thyssen, Krupp abandoned its hostile bid. Still, Thyssen agreed to talk about merging their flat steel operations with Krupp. The negotiations resulted in ThyssenKrupp Stahl AG, with 60% owned by Thyssen and 40% by Krupp. Eckhard Schultz, Thyssen Stahl's former head, became the joint venture's CEO. The companies promptly announced a restructuring, cutting 25% of the flat steel workforce, around 6,300 jobs. Surprising many, in November 1997, Krupp and Thyssen revealed a full merger of their entire companies. The merger, driven by global economic shifts, was finalized in March 1994, creating ThyssenKrupp AG. The merger of Thyssen and Krupp birthed a corporate behemoth. This colossal union united two steel giants, each with its own storied history, forging a new global presence. With 460,000 employees, operations spanning 70 countries, and an annual turnover surpassing $50 billion, it marked a significant leap in the industry. However, the initial years were challenging. Integrating distinct cultures proved tough, leading to job losses and internal conflicts. Amid the tumult of the early 2000s, marked by the global financial crisis, ThyssenKrupp faced formidable obstacles. Plummeting steel prices, diminished demand, and financial strain pushed the company to the edge. Nevertheless, resilience emerged as a key strength. Led by CEO Heinrich Kiesinger, ThyssenKrupp initiated a strategic makeover. Shedding non-essential assets, optimizing operations, and prioritizing innovation, the company steadily returned to profitability. Despite a reduction of nearly 50,000 jobs by 2010, it emerged as a more agile and focused entity. The post-merger period brought notable successes. ThyssenKrupp showcased its engineering excellence in projects such as the world's largest offshore wind farm in the North Sea and the pioneering hydrogen-powered steel mill in Duisburg. Expansion into automotive components and high-performance plastics further enriched its offerings. Today, ThyssenKrupp stands as proof of adaptability and persistence. Despite facing market shifts and internal changes, the company maintains its prominent position in the global industrial scene. Embracing technology and sustainability, ThyssenKrupp looks ahead, aspiring to influence the world with inventive solutions and a commitment to a greener future. Yet, challenges persist. The steel industry contends with ongoing competition and the constant threat of economic downturns. ThyssenKrupp's sustained success relies on adapting to technological advancements, adopting sustainable practices, and navigating the dynamic global market with flexibility and foresight. In tracing the trajectory of Krupp's evolution, from its early years under Alfred Krupp to the intricacies of 20th century challenges, the company's story is one of adaptation, resilience, and transformation. As we conclude this exploration, the legacy of Krupp remains embedded in the annals of industrial history. From the forging of steel for cannons to the challenges of global mergers, Krupp's journey reflects not just a corporate saga, but a testament to the ever-shifting dynamics of the industrial landscape. The narrative of Krupp stands as a reminder of the constant need for innovation, strategic resilience, and a forward-looking vision in the face of evolving economic realities.